Here we go again. Right, I've taken the pistons out, and you can see, I don't know if you can, but there's a lip at the bottom of the pistons, and there were bits, barrels, and they're a bit scored. That's the 1050 piston, I'll show you that in a minute. So, I'm afraid this motor's got to have a rebore. But that's a 1050 piston in Conrod, and that will just about fit in. So there's not a lot of difference between the 950 and the 1050 in piston size, but here's the pistons and the crank and the camshaft that I took out. That's a 1050 piston. Laying them together you can see a bit of difference. But as you can see, this one has got a lovely mark on it. As you can hear that. That's had it. There's the crank. That's in reasonably good condition. There's no major marks or anything on it. I've yet to measure that and the big ends. There's the crankshaft. Single bearing crankshaft. There's only one bearing. It fits on there. And it's a sleeve bearing. There's nothing on that one and nothing on that one. But in the end there, the oil pump sort of keeps it square. I'll show you that in a minute. Here, there's the oil pump. Alright, and you see that lip? That seems to fit in there and keep it square. And that is the oil pump. Not much, oh sorry. There's the oil pump. And then that goes in there. And it spins. And as that spins, oops, can I do it? And as it spins, you see it moving. It pumps all around the engine. Not much to go wrong with that. I've got the face cover off, which is that bit that goes on. That bit goes on there. And then you got your oil pump. So, right, you've got the crankshaft, that's what you do. Oh, the pistons are interesting. These have all got this split in it. And, not too bad, it's been burning oil as you can see, it's all black and oval. Oh dear, there goes my wind. That's not good on video. There we go, that there. Now all the pistons have this, one there, and there. Now as this engine, this being an old one, there is a subtle difference. You can see by the length of the piston here, right, the old 950 pistons, oversized 950 pistons, are longer than the 1050 piston. And actually I don't know if you can see, but in there there's a pin. Let me go and get my torch. What have I done with that? Here we are. Nice swimming pool carpet on my floor there. Oh dear, that's a locking pin. That bit's a locking bit for the oil pump. Don't want to lose that. Certainly don't want it falling to bits because there's a lot of work to strip it down. Right. In there, no, that's lousy, you can't see nothing. Let's change it to a different one. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little pin in there. Well, it's a cotter pin going through the middle of it, that's what it's called. And then you've got a retaining clip in the end, you can just see it. Now you look at that one, you ain't got one. and it's not supposed to have one. You know, look, that one ain't got one either. The way this one works is you've got a bolt. You've got a bolt in there. Alright. Now this one's, the small end is actually part of the piston. Well, it rotates in the piston too. The cotter pin rotates in the piston. Yeah, or the piston rotates on the cotter pin. Right. Now on the 1050, the cotter pin doesn't rotate because you have a bearing in there. I don't know, it's a little bit of copper on the side, or brass, whatever it is. But there's a little bearing in there. Well, it's just a sleeve really. And that's your small end. Right? On this 1050 engine. There's also another subtle difference that I noticed is, put that roughly there, there was a slight difference in length of the conrod. I noticed there's a slight difference in the length of the conrod, yeah, just about. I don't think it's much in it, but the old 951 is longer, so we've got a longer stroke on the 950 engine. Now I'm not sure if I can put 1050 pistons on that 950 rod without the cotter pins in and have them spin. Have the cotter pin spinning in there. This I'm going to have to look into a little bit more closely. And also, when you rebuild an engine, now that's number 3, which is that one. I've got to measure the width of that and the hole to see out if they've got oversized big engine. I haven't noticed any marks on the big end, but I do have one of these fancy things. Oops, sorry. I do have one of these, hang on. That's right. I do have one of these. Now then, I'll put that on there. Right. And close it. And then take, oop, I've moved it. Put that on there and close it. And then measure what mark it is, and I think that one's, I haven't got my reading glasses on, I can't see it. But anyway, that measurement, and you use the other end, which measures the outside edge. You put in the big end. You put in there. And the torch is in the way to set it off. Put that in there to see if it fits nicely, or if there's any play in it. And in this one, there is. We know that because the big ends are gone. Hear it? So she's worn. Now I've ordered a digital one of these, right? Because my eyesight ain't as good as it used to be. To see, to get a more accurate and careful measurement. That was not the ideal way of doing things. And the big ends do have a little bit of marking on them, but not seriously. But I still say she's had a good cane in this engine. This one, well, that's an old 1050, that's a little bit worn, you can see. There are many marks. But that one, 60 oversized pistons. And I thought of boring out another engine and putting them in, but I can't do it because one of them, I've lost it now. It's scored. That one. Number 3. badly scored. So something's happened at some point, and this is a real old engine because I noticed the oil wings are one-piece system. Right? They're one piece, not like the modern ones, which are three-piece, which have a tendency to bust, like this one has. It hasn't got the oil wing in. I've taken it out and put it in another engine to keep it going a bit longer while I fix this one. Now I've got the other engine that came out of the car that needs a rebore as well, but that probably needs a set of these pistons. That'd be a much easier job to do. But this one is interesting, so I thought, well, let's see what we can do. That blue stuff is antifreeze, but we shall see what we can do with the old girl. Now at this time I'm going to see how much it would cost to get that skimmed, because it has blown here and here, to get it nice cleaned up, just a gentle skimming just to clean it. It's got a head gasket on at the moment, it's stuck on there, that's why it looks all shiny. But you can see it's blowing there and there, and it's not very good there. But with a clean up, and obviously the valves out and clean them up, we should get into business. But being a gold seal rebuild, it could well be, but I always thought gold seal cleaned their blocks up better, so I'm wondering, but it has had a rebore. So let's turn this over. Very hard to do because I'm doing all this on the phone. So, right, that's the inside. Let's get me torch. Can't see much in the dark in the garage. It's not very well lit. Got my old planes though. I like playing with those. But it's getting time to do it. Right, you can see in there. That's the inside. That's the that drive there drives the oh come on brain, distributor, which gets all the timing on the spark. We'll play with that when it comes to timing it, but I don't know if you can see much. This is really reacting, but you can see the barrels there. They can be bored out a little bit more, quite a lot more if my theory's right. But we'll see if we can put 1050 pistons on the end of those con rods. I've got to look into this just to make sure, but I've got another block out there, a 1050 that needs a rebore. I've got a 950 in the shed that needs a rebore. And there's another one, this one, that needs sorting out. So I might actually sell a couple when they're done and carry on. Like this one I might sell on as a standard 1100, as long as everything's going to work good, because the last thing anyone wants is an engine that don't work properly. So these are the 3 crank bearings. A lot of modern cars have got 4s on there now. They've put one in the or 5 bearing crank. Things are a lot smaller today, but you can see crank bearings are a little bit worn. Oh, you can't see that one on the inside. They're a bit worn. Nothing serious though. But a few scratches. But as this engine is worn, they're not in bad nick. They would have rattled a bit and clonked when it runs, but it would have been alright. They can rattle and clonk these little engines for a while. So, all we've got to do now is today, I don't know what date it is, I will go out and get this engine done. find out how much it's going to cost to rebore it, and then I'll make a shortish video explaining the next stage, because that's got to come out. I just thought he won't get his boring machine past that. Yeah, he'll get it past there, so that'll have to come out. And all these will have to come off and be cleaned off, and all, oh yeah, everything's got to come off. So then they can put it flat on their bench, because it's got to be perfectly flat before they can bore it. And on here there's obviously all that's got to come off. That's a gasket. Yeah. That was a bit of luck, wasn't it? So we get that off, and that's all got to come off. I've got new ones. I think it was £19 for all the gaskets. I'll show you them in a minute. Yeah, it's obviously got to be cleaned up tremendously before it gets rebuilt or anything. Anyway, let me show you the gaskets. Here we are. Now this engine, these are standard gaskets, 4 more thousand. Right. Now these will fit. How thin it is in between there. Crazy, isn't it? This will fit 1050, 950. It won't fit 850, I don't think, because I think they're a little bit different. And here, I didn't know you could buy these, but these are rocker cover mounting bolts. Well, I call them that anyway. They go through the rocker cover, which is that bit down there, and hold it down basically, 2 screws. That's all it is. And there's new seals as well. I think they were about £4 they were. Amazing how they can make these things for so cheap. Yeah, so I got that. And then I bought a full set. Here's the bottom end set. Put it on there, you can see it better then. Put it right way around. You can see all the gaskets. The light is playing, what's the name with it here? There, right, you can see all the gaskets. And then that's the bottom end, that's the front oil seal. There isn't one on the back. They even put a little ring for the oil pipe. And there's the top end, rocker cover gasket, carburetor gasket. What do you call that? I forget. Thermostat cover gasket. Inlet manifold gasket. Head gasket. Yeah, so, and they're all that's timing chain, back end plate, which is that over there, gasket. They're the sump gaskets that I've just taken off. That's the front oil seal. Those are the side plate gaskets. And we've got one to hand, so I can't show you. Those fit on the sump. And that sump, that fits on the oil pipe. That is the front gasket, and that's all. There's oil pump at the bottom there, you can just see it there. I can't think of the rest. What's that big one there? I think that's the front part of the front gasket. But yeah, I've just been showing you nothing while I've been doing that. What a waste of space. Sump, side gasket, front gasket, rear gasket, oil pump gasket. Important to change that. That's about it in there. Then that little washer there is for the oil way. That's the I know you got that. That's the rocker cover lot. What have I done with the head gasket? I've lost the head gasket. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Put it somewhere. Ah, here we go. That's the head gasket. Rocker cover gasket. They can be fun. I usually glue those on with a bit of super glue. That helps you out putting them on. That one, I usually put nothing on. Carburetor, water, thermostat cover thing. They can be very difficult. Now these little ones here, I don't know if you can see them, are valve seal things. You just put them around the valve stem and that's it. But there's a new one out now where you can get the whole thing that slips over the end of the valves and fits onto the valve follower. The valve follower or something like that. Anyway, it does a better job. So I might actually get them. They're, I think they're £1 each and you need 8. So, yeah. So they're slightly more modern, but they do a better job. So when you ease off on the throttle and then put your foot down, you see a cloud of blue smoke. Usually that's due to valve stems worn, or the seals are not doing their work. And that's about it. I think that'll do. So now you're seeing, next one will be rebore. So I'll see you then. Bye.